Hey folks, it's I almost said week 9, it's week 10, and we are working this week towards the finishing up of the illustration essay unit, unit 4. I'm looking at my syllabus here, and you have 2 assignments to turn this week. Of course, it's paper writing week, and just wanted to review with you a little bit of what to turn in and also what is being looked at on this paper, what I'm looking for in this paper. Okay, so for this unit, we've backtracked, we've talked a little bit about grammar, we've talked a little bit about another way to cite, which is the APA, and we've read a series of essays and discussed them. Now, you are going to synthesize and illustrate. Here's what I mean by that. For this paper, you are going to take 2 or more sources from the course. Please do not do outside research on this. I only want essays from this course. Okay, and you might say, well, I don't have enough to write about. That's where your illustration skills come in. And I don't mean obviously drawing skills, but things like bringing in life applications or something you read or something you saw, a headline, an overseen or overheard conversation or activity. It doesn't have to be deeply personal. It can be. If it works, great. Otherwise, it might be a borrowed experience, something that you saw or witnessed on television even. Sometimes there's some really great applications from those pop culture venues. Okay, you're going to take your ideas, your experiences, what you know to be true. You're going to combine your thoughts, the thoughts of one author and the thoughts of another, and you're going to condense all of those ideas into an argument. Now, to do this, you do not have to find 2 articles that agree, nor do you even have to agree with the argument in those 2 articles. In fact, what I would personally do is look back through the things you've read, and you might choose articles first and see which ones you connect with the best. Or you might even step back and say, after reading these articles, what is it that I wanted to say back? And in doing so, you're kind of creating your own argument, your own take. For example, I might pair Amy Tan's article and Tannen's article. They both talk about communication. They talk about different aspects of communication. And I might then argue my own fresh idea about communication that is either reinforced or possibly even contradicted in those articles, but in a way that I can bring it around to reinforce what I want, the point I want to make. So for example, if I saw something in Tan's article that I really don't agree with, but it ties in with my point, I can use her as my naysayer, for example. Or maybe I like aspects of both of these, and even though these authors weren't talking to each other when they wrote these articles, I might see some overlap in their content, and I might play on that and use that as my argument, that seeing these 2 together as one voice creates my argument. The big thing is that you're going to want to make sure that you don't do a separate summary and response for each article. You want to bring it together. You're going to use connecting words like this relates to, or this is comparable to, this is contradicted in, those types of showing connection, the types of phrases that show how ideas intersect. I often think of this as a road. If my argument had one road and the first article had another road and the second article had another road, at which point do all of our ideas intersect? That doesn't mean that we're the same road. We're going to have all 3 have different arguments, but at what point is there an overlap that makes a point out and strengthens my personal argument? So we're going to make sure we do synthesis. There is an extra resource in the classroom about synthesis that I encourage you to read. The second thing is you want to make sure that we know who's talking when, okay? And so make sure you're speaking in terms of the author. The third important thing is to make sure that as you're developing your thesis statement, that you include a naysayer and your argument, a they say, I say statement. The naysayer does not have to be the articles, but it could be. It could be one of the articles and not the other. You could say, while so-and-so says, while Tan says this, I tend to agree more with Tannen when she says this because, and there's my argument. So you could bring them in that way. There's a million different ways to do this right. If you have specific questions, if you're not sure if you're heading down the right path, will you let me know in an email in the classroom, because I really want to help you with this. This is a higher level thinking. Some of you noticed the last paper kind of was ramped up from the first one. I think this one might be a step harder, although some of you might find with the nature of essays and that they already lend themselves to an argument, that part of this will sort of write itself if you can find a good combination of articles along with your personal voice. So there's a lot of information packed in there. If you have questions about this paper, please write or post a discussion board question to the teacher. Second of all, what you're turning in this week, remember when you peer edit, to put your, even if you only have part of your essay done, will you try to post it early for the rest of the class? That really helps everybody out. It gives everybody a chance to get in there and comment, and also if you see somebody who hasn't been commented on, jump in on their paper and do try to make those valuable comments. When you turn that assignment into me, you're going to include both your rough draft and your comments to somebody else. You don't need to give me the comments you received, because you really can't control that. You can only control what you turn in. Second, when you turn in your final draft of your paper, would you please include not only the self-reflection questions, but that chart that's underneath it, that's like a rubric. If you copy and paste it, one of the paste options will show you text within, a graphic within a text. It'll say keep formatting. Please choose that option. It gives me a chance to highlight the sections that where you landed on the scale for each of those, and it allows me another way to give you valuable feedback along with my little narrative that I fill in about one thing to that I really enjoyed and one thing you need to work on. So if you could include the entire feedback form, not just your part, that'd be great. I'll fill out the chart and my questions. You fill out your questions, and I think that will really help you in getting valuable feedback back from me on these papers. Again, questions or concerns, please write or post a discussion, and I'm looking forward to seeing your papers. Have a great week.